Okay. Good day to each and everyone. I'm Dr. Grace Baraquia from Dipolog City. The title of my book is TESDA Tourism Curriculum Competencies, its relevance to industry needs and employment opportunities in Zamboanga del Norte, Zamboanga del Sur, and Zamboanga, Sibugay. The background of the study. The provincial growth of tourism and its respective industries has resulted in a rapid expansion of tourism education in Zamboanga del Norte, Zamboanga del Sur, and Zamboanga Sibugay, including the expansion of higher education institutions and TESDA Tibet training centers. Hudson 2005, the interdisciplinary aspect of tourism is becoming more and more important in the labor market in the three provinces. Recently, challenges in the tourism industry have directly impacted on the expectations of the industry regarding specific knowledge and competencies of managers and employees. Ziller and Altman 2006. It has been noted that when employers recruit graduates, they are typically seeking individuals with not only specific academic skills and knowledge in content, but with the capacity to be proactive and to see and respond to problems creatively and anonymously. Follows and Stephen 2000. Hence, the demands of the tourism employment market both on a personal and a career level in the provinces under study ensure that the prospective tourism employees acquired competencies that enable them to cope with the changing circumstances of the tourism environment in the three provinces. The conceptual framework of the study. We have the independent variables, dependent variables, and the outcome. In the independent variables, we have the TESDA tourism curriculum competencies. We have the basic competencies, common competencies, core competencies. And in the dependent variables, we have the tourism industry needs. And we include transportation, travel services, recreation and entertainment, accommodation, food and beverage services. Tourism employment opportunities includes operational positions, supervisory positions, management positions, and executive positions. In the outcome, this study attempts to determine the TESDA tourism curriculum competencies, industry needs, and employment opportunities, and establish the relevance among these variables which TESDA tourism curriculum competencies are expected to translate the tourism industry needs and employment opportunities in the province of Zamboanga del Norte, Zamboanga del Sur, and Zamboanga Sibugay. And in the independent and dependent variables, we have the composition of sex, position, length of service, educational qualification, and national certification. Specifically, the study sought answers to the following questions. What is the profile of the respondents in terms of sex, position, length of service, educational qualification, and national certification? 2. What is the extent of relevance of the TESDA tourism curriculum competencies in terms of basic competencies, common competencies, and core competencies? 3. Is there a significant difference in the extent of relevance of the TESDA tourism curriculum competencies as perceived by the respondents when they are grouped as their profile? 4. What is the degree of needs of the key areas in the tourism industry in terms of transportation, travel services, recreation and entertainment, accommodation, food and beverage services? 5. Is there significant difference in the degree of needs of the key areas in the tourism industry as perceived by the respondents when they are categorized according to their profile. 6. What is the level of employment opportunities in the tourism industry in terms of operational position, supervisory position, management position, and executive positions? 7. Is there a significant difference in the level of employment opportunities in the tourism industry as perceived by the respondents as to their profile? 8. Is there significant relationship between TESDA tourism curriculum, competencies, and their industry needs? 9. Is there significant relationship between TESDA tourism curriculum, competencies, and the employment opportunities? So the descriptive survey and the correlational methods of research were used in the study with the aid of this questionnaire checklist. The respondents of the study were the purposely selected municipal and city tourism officers, tourism staff, and the accommodation establishment managers of Zamboanga del Norte, Zamboanga del Sur, and Zamboanga Sibugay with a total of 559. From Zamboanga del Norte, we have 210. From Zamboanga del Sur, we have 212. And in Zamboanga Sibugay, we have 137. So the instrument that was used to gather data in this study was composed of 4 parts, namely profile of the respondents, TESDA tourism curriculum competencies, tourism industry needs scale, and tourism employment opportunities. So the statistical methods that were used in these studies were the frequency count, percent, weighted mean, Mann-Whitney U test, Kruskal-Wallis test, and Speckman rank. That is the order correlation coefficient. The findings is the classification, analysis, and interpretation of the gathered data revealed the following findings. 1. The bulk of respondents was females, which accounted to about 60% from Zamboanga del Norte, more than 60% from Zamboanga del Sur, and 65% from Zamboanga Sibugay. More than 50% of the respondents were drawn from the tourism staff, that is 52.24%, with a second bigger representation from those who were in the hotel, motel, pension house, hostel inn as managers, which accounted to do about 22%. Almost 50% of the respondents from Zamboanga del Norte and Zamboanga del Sur is 46.70%, and about 60% from Zamboanga Sibugay, 57.66, were in the bracket of 16 to 20 years. And about 60% of the respondents pursued and completed graduate and postgraduate studies in Zamboanga del Norte, that is 58%, that 58.10%, and Zamboanga del Sur we have 58.02%, and more than 50% from Zamboanga Sibugay, that is 53.28%, and the 54% of the respondents was certified national certificate 2, that is 53.31%, of which 58.10% from Zamboanga del Norte. So 83% from Zamboanga del Sur and 46.72% from Zamboanga Sibugay. 2. The basic common and core competencies were very much relevant to the 3 provinces. And 3, there was no significant difference in the perception of the respondents towards relevance of the TESDA tourism curriculum competencies when they were grouped as to sex, position, length of service, educational qualification, and national certification obtained. 4. The transportation, travel services, accommodation, and food beverage services were much needed, while recreation and entertainment was moderately needed in the tourism industries in 3 provinces. So in general, However, the three provinces must also needed as the key areas in the tourism industries. 5. There was no significant difference in the perception of the respondents from the provinces of Zamboanga del Norte, Zamboanga del Sur, and Zamboanga Sibugay in the needs of the key areas in the tourism industry when they were grouped as to sex, position, length of service, educational qualification, and national certification obtained. In 6, there was high opportunity in operational position, while moderately high along supervisory management and executive positions. However, in general, respondents indicated that there were moderately high employment opportunities in the tourism industries in the provinces of Zamboanga del Norte, Zamboanga del Sur, and Zamboanga Sibugay. 7. There was no significant difference in the perception of the respondents towards tourism employment opportunities in Zamboanga del Norte and, and the rest of the provinces. As to sex, position, length of service, educational qualification, and national certification obtained. 8. There was significant relationship between TESDA tourism curriculum competencies and the industry needs in Zamboanga del Norte and the rest of the provinces. So there was also a significant relationship between TESDA tourism curriculum competencies and the employment opportunities in the three provinces. So the conclusion is TESDA tourism curriculum competencies met the required basic competencies in the tourism enterprises and the tourism curriculum standards, as well as designed and well formulated to ensure the responding demands of competencies in the local tourism markets in Zamboanga del Norte and the rest of the provinces. On the other hand, the provinces need to produce tourism graduates who possess the necessary skills and competencies to meet the demands of the key areas in tourism industry along transportation, travel services, recreation, entertainment, accommodation, and food and beverage services. Moreover, tourism is one of the main economic engines of the provinces, with greater contribution to the local economy, insinuates employment opportunities along operational supervisory management and executive positions. So the recommendations are, after thorough examination of the findings, the conclusions, the following recommendations are given. Number 1, monitoring and evaluation of TESDA tourism curriculum competencies should be regularly conducted by TESDA Curriculum Development Committee to sustain the standards of the curriculum. 2. TESDA should regularly administer the national assessment to tourism graduates to obtain national certification up to the highest level to ensure quality of the prospective tourism employees. 3. Higher education institution offering tourism program and different TESDA training centers in Zamboanga del Norte and Zamboanga del Sur and Zamboanga Sibugay should ensure that their graduates acquire the necessary skills and competencies to meet and respond to the demands of the tourism industries in the local and even in the national and international tourism markets. So, number 4, in other researchers should look into the same variables in broader perspective to validate the results in this investigation. So that's all for today. Thank you very much.